What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. Oh my goodness, this is such a fun video to do. See, this is what happens when you bullshit your way through debates and just argue, lie after lie after lie being committed on your side, and you're not just letting truth flow from your mouth, but just complete garbage just falling out of your stank ass fucking shit pipe that you call a throat, to the point where you back yourself into a corner. And like almost all LeBron fans, this guy has backed himself into a corner. I guess their podcast is called The Basement Boys or The Basement Dweller. I don't know, something. I told you, I just call this dude. I see him, but I don't believe him ridiculous. It just sounds like something that, sounds kind of catchy. But anyway, recently, Scottie Pippen said that, he thought that he was a better basketball player than LeBron James. Right now, statistically, I would admit that's a rather ridiculous argument, but it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at championships, if you're looking at winning intangibles, he has a considerable argument, right? I mean, hell, he did win 55 games with, I would consider, less talent than LeBron James usually has on his team. I mean, when LeBron doesn't have a superstar on his squad or a perennial true all-star player, he tends to struggle. That's very true. So while LeBron is a powerhouse basketball player who's more dynamic, he doesn't have certain winning intangibles that you could argue Scottie Pippen had. But that's not really important here. What's important is the hypocrisy of these dudes. Because as we all know, they love to prop up Scottie Pippen. They love to prop him up. They'll make the argument he was the real leader of the Chicago Bulls. He's the real force behind the 6 championships. He's the one that played the better defense. He's the better all-around basketball player. So if you're saying that he's better than the guy that you guys say that LeBron superseded as the GOAT, then doesn't that technically make him as good or better than LeBron even in your eyes? So why do you find the premise of him comparing him to LeBron, himself to LeBron, ridiculous? Because you guys are full of shit. And this is what happens when you back yourself into a corner.
Scottie Pippen. I didn't want to do this. I don't even know if it's worth the amount of money we're going to spend editing this short on Scottie Pippen, but I'm going to do it anyways. When he gets on these podcasts, a lot of these old players do it. They get on these podcasts. All of a sudden, if they were an all-star, they were a GOAT. And if they were a good player, they were an all-star. This is just what they do, right? Scottie, let me make something very clear to you, brother. LeBron James, by junior year in high school, was a better basketball player than you ever were. LeBron James in high school. LeBron James has been the best basketball player on his team and in the league for 20 years. For 20 years. He's carried, not the franchise, he's carried the league on his shoulders for 20 years. And he's still carrying it to this day. You don't know what that feels like. You don't know what that feels like for teams to be coming and game planning for you because they had to game plan for the other guy that was around 23 on your team. You don't know what it feels like to get carried to NBA championships when you were averaging 16 points a game. Whoa. You don't know what that feels like.
16 points?
LeBron don't know what that feels like.
16?
LeBron don't know what it feels like to win an NBA championship averaging 17 points a game. He don't know what it looks like. He don't know what it looks like. By the way, is this you? Is this you right here? Because if memory serves me, listen, I'm not that old, right? I'm also not that young. Memory served me correctly. He tried to team up with Hakeem and Charles Barkley in Houston to try to win a championship. Was that you? Or was that AI? Because I'm pretty sure it was you.
Oh,
Oh, I'm pretty sure artificial intelligence wasn't around in 98 and 99. Let me just make something very clear to all these old heads that get on podcasts, these players. We have something called the internet now. So we can go look you up in 4K and see what you were actually doing.
Okay. Fine. But aren't you guys the same ones who were saying that he was better than Mike? So if Mike is universally seen as a top one GOAT player or amongst the elite of the elite of the elites, the creme de la creme, why are you so flabbergasted by him saying he was better than LeBron? Because as I said, you all knew that was a bullshit ass fucking comparison. So you just proved that you're full of shit. You guys have been full of shit forever. I will say this about Scottie. He's a 6-time NBA champion. I will say this too about Scottie. Now that I think about it, I believe Scottie has played in 8 conference finals in his career. So he is a winning player. He's a better defensive player than LeBron James. And in my opinion, even though he played in a system, so it hurts his numbers, I don't think that LeBron is really that much better of a passer than him. It's just that LeBron played, it's like Scottie played with Michael Jordan. Scottie played in a triangle. So, he couldn't pad his numbers like that. And plus, Scottie played a significant portion of his career in the dead ball era, or was transitioning to the dead ball era, and he played Michael Jordan. So, of course, he wasn't going to average 25, 30 points playing Michael Jordan. Just wasn't going to happen. But I could definitely see Scottie Pippen on a bad team in his prime. If you took 1993, 94 Pippen and inserted him into today's NBA, I could see him averaging 25 points a game. I could see him averaging about 8 rebounds, maybe even 9. I could see him averaging about 7 assists. I could see him leading the NBA in steals. I could see him winning Defensive Player of the Year. And because of the free-flowing spacing of the free-flowing offense and the spacing of today, his field goal percentage will be over 50%. I don't think he'd be a great three-point shooter. I think he'd be a little bit better than Westbrook. I think he'd be like 33, 34%. About 70% from the line. He have flaws. I think he turned the ball over a little bit. But hell, if Cade Cunningham is a superstar, why can't Scottie be one? But that's not all important right now. I'm just glad that you told the truth. I'm glad that you told the truth that Scottie Pippen was not on Michael Jordan's level and that he was super overrated, and Michael still won 6 championships. That's what he just did. He just made the GOAT argument for Michael Jordan and didn't even realize he did it. Thank you, idiot. Thank you for making the GOAT argument better than any of us could. You just said it's outlandish to compare Scottie Pippen to LeBron James. You just said that. He's not even in the same class. So if Michael won 6 championships with a guy who shouldn't even be in the same fucking breath in the sentence of LeBron James, that's making Michael the GOAT even more. Because, hell, we can make a serious argument. Matter of fact, it's not even really an argument. Anthony Davis is a more dominant player than Scottie Pippen. Luka Doncic is a more dominant player. Russell Westbrook is a more dominant player in his prime. Shaquille O'Neal was far more of a more dominant player than Scottie Pippen in his prime. These are all guys that he played with. LeBron James. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.